Maybe it meant for them to be the villain in your story. And it's gonna suck when you see that they are the hero in someone else's. Shed every tear you need to. Your heart is gonna be crying for a very long time. This is a Friday. I'm putting mascara on, so I'm drying my lashes. I've actually been asleep all day. I was on the phone with my best friend the other day. We were talking about the past and things that we've been through and how sometimes your best friend may not always be around, or whoever you confide in may not always be around for the toughest times of your life. When I was going through my heartbreak and he just wasn't there, I know people always ask, like, how do you get through heartbreak? How do you deal with heartbreak? And what are some things that I would go back and tell myself during this process? When your heart is tied deep into something, it can be very hard to separate it. I wasn't just breaking up with him mentally, I was breaking up with him physically, emotionally. It was so much I needed to work on disconnecting from. There's actually no timestamp or no duration of how long it would take you to get over heartbreak. It's always specific to you. So the intent of this video honestly is to just give you some advice on if you're dealing with this. I think through the first phase of a breakup, you would begin to question, like, did I do something wrong? With time, I feel like it gets harder and then it gets easier again, and then it doesn't bother you anymore. This can take a very long time, but you have to remember that behind anger is sadness. Lock in on the things that you love and lock in on the people that you love. Do things that you love, do things that you enjoy to keep yourself happy. I want you to get up every day and put some effort into how you look. I feel like doing it, you're going to question yourself. You're going to be like, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? Or was I not the one? Was I not perfect enough? Was I not sexy enough? Did I not give them enough of my time? If it's a friendship, you'll be like, was I not loyal enough? What did I do wrong? You'll think back on situations that you look over. You'll finally look back on those red flags in the situation and realize that they were red flags that you overlooked. I did want to emphasize the fact that I am not talking about a man or a woman. I am just talking about people in general. But because I am a gay man that deals with men, I speak from that point of view. But don't beat yourself up about it because you are in the thick of it. You can't see things clearly. It's always good to keep people close to you that have your best interests at heart, because your judgment can sometimes be blurred. Someone who knows you as a person that can give you the best advice. Certain things will run its course and it will serve you in ways that you may not be able to see now. At the end of the phase of heartbreak or trying to get back to yourself, you will realize, you will actually see the lesson in those, and in the end, you will actually be a better person for someone else. It wasn't necessary for you to be hurt. It wasn't necessary for you to cry as much as you're gonna cry, but it was necessary for you to grow into the person that you're going to be. Nobody ever talks about the process of getting over it. When your heart is attached to someone else, it can feel like death. So that is a process that can take as long as it needs to. Don't try to forget the person. Don't remember the trauma. Don't remember the words that were said to you. Don't remember the time you wasted. Just be grateful that you got out of it before it was too late. Take as long as you need to get your heart back in the right place. And when the time comes, put yourself back out there to try again. I know it's gonna feel like this weight will never be lifted off your shoulders, but I want you to realize that you'll slowly start to see the weight lift up. Until then, you have to let yourself feel those feelings and you have to let it play out. You can't force yourself to get over. You can't force yourself out of your feelings. You're battling your mind and your heart, and you're not gonna win. Talk to those who will listen. Those who won't listen do not love you. Because anything that is on your heart that needs to come out, you should have people around you who understand that and are willing to listen. If you don't have people around you who are willing to listen to your heart, these are not the people that you want to have around you during this time. I want you to understand that you didn't do anything wrong. Maybe it meant for them to be the villain in your story. And it's gonna suck when you see that they are the hero in someone else's. You have to make peace with that. And you have to go be the hero in someone else's story. I think when you force yourself to get over these feelings, you may find yourself being the villain in other people's story because someone was a villain in your story. This is where the term hurt people comes from. But what we don't hear often enough is that heal people. Heartbreak is going to change you. It's going to change you, but it's going to change you for the better. And don't change who you are as a person because you had good intent. That person just wasn't the right person for you at this time. Don't go into your relationship an entirely different person. Go into your relationship the same person but a better version of yourself. Drop all of those insecurities, all of those emotions off at the door and realize that you're dealing with someone new. You're going to learn something with every relationship, every friendship, every boyfriend, every girlfriend. There's a lot to be learned in every connection, even if it's a coworker that you're falling out with. I'm not just talking about relationships. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about just overall. They weren't a lifelong friendship, a lifelong friend, or a lifelong partner. And that is okay. That is okay. You will ask yourself, did I make the right decision? What if I'm wrong? The only person that knows that is you. If you're far away from knowing if you're sure or not, what is your worth? If you're questioning cutting someone off and you're not sure, I would say definitely have those conversations. And if the conversations don't make you feel better about the friendship or lead the friendship or the relationship in the direction that you want it to go, then it is clear what you need to do at that point. No one else can give you the answers because no one else knows the full dynamic of you and someone else's relationship. So you really have to understand what you deserve and understand who you're dealing with and communicate what you want this relationship to be. And if it falls short still, then I believe at that point it becomes clear what you need to do. And this is not going to be something that is going to be easy. I think we as people are so unsure of ourselves. We second guess ourselves too much to the point where we would try to tiptoe out of a situation that we know or that we feel isn't necessarily good for us. You can't tiptoe out of a situation. The minute you decide that it is not for you, you have to step out of it. You have to cut all communications. You cannot get over someone and still talk to them. If they have that much of a grasp on your heart, you cannot still communicate with them while trying to get over them. It's all going to work out. And I'm not talking to women, I'm not talking to men, I'm talking to everyone. Don't run away from a situation if your heart is still in it. If you feel like someone loves you and you still love them, fight for it. I say fight until you don't have any fight left. I won't say fight for something where it's obvious that the other person has checked out. Don't fight for anything that isn't worth fighting for. But if you feel like in your heart that it's worth fighting for, I will 100% tell you to fight for it. Nobody knows the full dynamic of your relationship. Nobody can tell you to let go of something that your heart isn't ready to let go of. At the end of the day, the decision is up to you. It's your responsibility to do what is best for you. The longer you sit in a situation that it's not for you, the deeper you're hurting someone. Because the minute you check out from a relationship and you stop operating from a place of love, the other person is going to feel that. There's only so much faking that you as a person can do. And I feel like you owe it to yourself to put yourself first to get away from a situation that is no longer serving you. But I feel like if you get into a relationship or a friendship, you owe it to that person because I would like to think that you care about them to do what is best for you, but also do what is best for them and not continue to string that friendship or that relationship along. This is not serving me. This friendship is not serving me anymore. I've tried so hard to make this work. And at this point, you've communicated and it has not been resolved. So now it is time for you to put yourself first and disconnect from the situation. And on the other end, the person that is getting this news that is heartbroken, oh, I just lost a friend, I just lost a boyfriend, I just lost a girlfriend. You have to realize that they put themselves first. It's going to hurt. I feel like it's a good thing for someone to be strong enough to come tell you that this is no longer serving me. What I see normally happens in a lot of relationships is the man or the woman isn't strong enough to leave the situation and they will sit in it. And the result is you end up hurting the other party when that's not even what you wanted. You just wanted to be done with the situation. I sympathize with both sides because I've been on both ends of the spectrum. Not being strong enough to leave a friendship or not being strong enough to leave a relationship. But one thing I can say is I never hated the person. I never wanted to hurt their feelings. I just wasn't sure if it was time for me to let go, or if I was making the right decision. And it may feel selfish and it may hurt you because you may have so much history with this friendship. You may be walking away from 10 years, but at some point, you have to put yourself first because this is your life. I know that you don't want to hurt someone, but sticking through it and stringing them along when you know that emotionally you aren't there anymore is going to hurt them even more than you imagine. Shed every tear you need to. Your heart is going to be crying for a very long time. I want you to actually take those lessons and apply them into your new relationship. But don't change who you are as a person. Those good things that you brought to that relationship, take those into the next one. Because you're going to come across someone who's going to look at those things and look at the good in you and receive it in an entirely different way, and it's going to blow your mind. For the first time in your life, it's going to be something that you will not have to question. That is what it was. They didn't understand you enough. They didn't understand the way you needed to be loved. They weren't willing to fight. And it sucks to hear that you're not worth the fight. It sucks. But you are. Just not for him. Guys, I hope I gave you guys some type of peace. It was on my heart to talk about this. Me and my best friend often have a lot of deep conversations, and I bring them to YouTube. I don't know, I have such a big heart when it comes to things like this, you know. You don't want to be what someone else was to you. So be honest with your feelings during this time. Take however long you need. Cry as much as you need to. Talk about it as much as you need to. It's a long journey, but you got it. You'll get back to a point where you're ready to try again. Don't force yourself to get there. You got this. You're good enough. Brush yourself off. If nobody else is rooting for you, I'm rooting for you. The purpose was aligned with this video. You needed to hear this conversation. Think about it. And don't forget to subscribe because we upload videos every Monday. You have to have genuine people around you at all times. Don't let your mistakes be your crutch. Let them be motivation. I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. This was a lot. And if this video wasn't intended for you, sorry you had to sit through that. But it could have been an emotional video. But I think it was a lot of gems in there. There was a lot of things that need to be said. I would definitely see you guys in the next video. Please remember that I upload videos every Monday. Like I always say, stay honest. Bye, guys.